Namaskar and pranam to everyone present here. I'm Rudra Shankar Mishra, coming all the way from India, doing my PhD under the supervision of Dr. Dipanvita Sinha Roy, Faculty of Performing Arts, Dance of the Department of Dance, and I'm here present to share my topic, that is construction of formulas for creating varieties of tihais in various styles. Tihai is one of the significant part of Kathak dance repertoire. We know that when we are presenting a group of syllables, a combination of various syllables, ultimately leading to some rhythmic patterns, and when we identically repeat it for 3 times and with or without repetitions, and it comes on the sum, so that becomes the structure of a tihai. Tihai, basically, from my point of view, is of two types. It's a simple and chakradar. And simple tihai is just like and when we talk about the chakradar tihai, it's like now simple and chakradar have two more subcategories, that is damdar and bedamdar. Damdar tihai and bedamdar tihai has a difference of the gaps between the repetition. And when we see this structure, we get four different varieties of tihai: simple, damdar, simple, bedamdar, chakradar, damdar, chakradar, bedamdar. And not only this, when we add different jatis to this structure, we get more variety. And these varieties was the only reason I was trying to find out some formulas so that we could present the tihais in around 1 minute or 30 seconds in any time. So I'm just presenting the formulas that I got while doing this research, and it is the blessing of my father and my uncle who used to do tihais, and Pandit Mata Prasad Mishra ji and Pandit Ravi Shankar Mishra ji. They are one of the prominent dancers of Banaras Gharana, and they do tihais as if like they are playing with the layas. So, seeking that, I got various patterns, and these patterns tell me that if, for example, we are making tihai in teen tal, I'm taking a simple example of damdar tihai. It's a formula. Can I come in here with sentence? So if I am taking an example of Damdar Tihai, so Damdar Tihai is like we have some sort of gaps in between the repetition. If we are making Tihai in 16 matras, let's for example in 16 matra, and Chatushra Jati means every matra will have 4 aksharas. So 16 into 4, we get 64 total aksharas. And then this is not only that, it's only 64. We will be adding one more aksharas that is coming on the sum, that is the dha. So total we are getting 65 aksharas. Now in this 65 aksharas, one avartan of teen tal will be making a tihai. Now we have to think about the structure of that. 65 aksharas. Now I'll be subtracting some number of gaps, as if like I written here. In step 2 we'll be subtracting, like for example we subtracted 4 aksharas. How much we get? 61. If we subtract 6 aksharas, we get some other number. Here I subtracted 8 to get a number that is 57 aksharas. Now these 57 aksharas will be divided by 3 to make the identical repetitions. When we divide this 57 by 3, we get 19, 19, 19. Now just imagine this structure. 19 aksharas first repetition, then 4 aksharas gap, 19, 4 and 19. And this whole structure give you the damdar structure. I'm just getting it on. Yeah. So the first repetition, 19 aksharas, gap 4 aksharas, second repetition, 19 aksharas, 4 aksharas and 19. And this, what I use into making up a tihai. See, I am showing you. Ta ka ta ka ta ki ta ta ka ta ki ta tha a. Now we'll be counting from here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That finishes the first repetition. 4 gaps, doing it for 3 times, getting the sum. So this is the structure, and this is the thing that I found out for Damdar. I come with the Vedamdar thing. Now, we generally have a belief that Vedamdar don't have a gap in between the repetition. But we are wrong here. We have slight gap. That's why I subtracted 2. When we say we are saying this is Vedamdar. Now break down it. Slow down the laya. You will find it's Adamdar. Ta-kita, di-kita, ta-kita, di-kita, ta-a-ta-kita, di-kita, ta-kita, di-kita, ta-a-ta-kita, di-kita, ta-kita, di-kita. So we have a conception that we don't have gaps, but there are gaps. So now, in the next slide, when I do the same process, I get 21 aksharas, 1, 21, 1 and 21. And this is the basic structure for 1 avartan, Chatushrajati, 3 tal. Vedamdar. So now, I made it taka taka takita taka taka taki. Sorry. So taka takita taka takita taka takita taka takita ta ataka takita taka takita taka takita taka taka ta ataka takita taka taka takita taka takita. So taka takita is taka takita. I'm repeating this 4 times. It coming 20 and 1 that is tha, that becomes 21. And a slight gap here. And when repeated twice, it becomes a Vedamdar.
Now, while I was doing this research, I find out 4 points are the major things or the major pillars while defining a Tihai, while creating and presenting. First is the structure that we are thinking. If we have a structure of the Tihai that we are presenting, we will be shifting, or we can go to the next step, that is the Laya, in which Laya we are going to present. Tala. Every Tal has its own structure, and here. Every Tal has its own structure of matras, and every Tal, when different structures are there, there will be different structures of Tihai. And lastly, the Jati. Jati changes and the Tihai changes. For example, I'm just taking a small example of Jati. If we take Trishya Jati, Damdar Tihai in 16 matras, what will happen?
We'll be multiplying 16 into 3 per matras, 3 aksharas, we get 48. Plus 1, 49. Now this number is 49 aksharas. We'll be making a Trishya Jati. This I'm doing on the spot. It's not. Now 49. We have to subtract that number of gaps so that we get a number that is divisible by 3 to make it identical. For example, 49 minus 4, we get 45. Divided by 3, that's the 15, 15, 15. So the structure will be 15 aksharas, 2, 15, 2 and 15. Now, for making 15 aksharas, we have to sing takita dekita takita dekita because it is going in different. So 15, I can make either. Now, here is the another point that I'll be talking. We have to think, we have to select, and we have to think about the permutations and the combinations of the syllables to do it. So here it is also a point that when we think of different permutations, it increases our brain power to do more variations to form more basic bold syllables or bold phrases. Now, if you are having 15, takita, dhikita, takita, dhikita, takita, dhikita, I'm doing 7, taka, taka, takita, 1 again, taka, taka, takita, and dha. It means 7 into 2, 14, plus 1, 15, and then 2 gap. So the teen tal goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. Taka, taka, takita, taka, taka, takita, dha. 1, 2, taka, taka, takita, taka, taka, takita, dha. 1, 2, taka, taka, takita. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taka, taka, takita, taka, taka, takita, dha. 1, 2, taka, taka, takita, taka, taka, takita, dha. 1, 2, taka, taka, takita, taka, taka, takita, dha. So that comes, and these type of varieties, if you are having so much variety, then when we are asked in the exam, make a damdar,
in Pancham Savari, in Dhamar, we start doing hidden trial. And for this was the only reason I thought of thinking this kind of formula that could help us also and to the students who are doing. I used both methods in research methodology, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative because a lot of empirical studies was done because trying the formulas, not coming and doing that many times. And qualitative because it's no graphical study I have to do because I was sitting in between and all the gurus because I belong to a musical family. So they sit beside and they were doing the highs from different patterns. So this kind I use both the methods, quantitative and qualitative. Of course, when I talk about result I got that this formula is one of the best formula where you can think, you can think more about it. And one thing that I found in result is the formalized systematic approach. Because when you have a formalized systematic approach, you will be not going towards hitting it. Dhamar 14 matras, Ek Tal 11 matras, Asa 12 matras, Rupak 7 matras, how many matras? And how much Tihai will remember. So I found a formalized systematic approach, and this approach increases the brain power because it's pressurizing you, that you think about different syllables. Not only if I tell about you, sorry, if I'm taking it into 2 avartanas, 16 matras, 16 into 2, that goes 32. Into 4, if Chatushra Jati, that goes into another multiple. And the most important part of this formula is that if 10 people are making Tihai, 10 people will be making different Tihais. It's not that they will be making the similar Tihai. And this is one of the things that we find that when we learn in universities and institutions, so they teach us 5 Tihais or 6 Tihais, and when the exams come, 12 students or 15 students presenting the same Tihai. If you do this formula, you can create 50s of Tihais. And you don't need to worry about the presenting this Tihai, that Tihai. So I found out this, and of course, conclusion is I'm opening up the path for more compositions. Well, I'm trying for Tukda, Paran, and many more. But I think if Tihai has a structure, so too Tukda, so too Paran, and many other compositions would be Farmaishi, Kamali, Nohakka. There are a lot of varieties. So if we know the structure of those, we can create a formula, we can create a formalized system, and then we can create more magic into it. I acknowledge my professor, ma'am. Yeah. In 2 minutes, I'll finish it up. I'll acknowledge my supervisor, ma'am, for giving this view. My father and my uncle, who is a Uttar Pradesh Sangeet Natak Academy awardee, and also my colleagues sitting in front of me, Udita and Ishru. They helped me a lot sitting in the night, all three of together discussing. So this is the references I took from Kathak Nritya Shiksha by Puru Dadit ji, Tirath Ram Azad ji book, and Chote Lal ji book. Also Resounding Mridang, to know different jatis and the context of the 10 prams of Tal. And of course Natya Shastra a bit, because in the 33rd chapter of Natya Shastra I'm doing my research work. So that also helped me into getting this formula. So I conclude here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.